Hey there, you're watching an episode of Politics and Justice where I spoke with R&B singer Raheem DeVaughn. We discussed his latest album, What a Time to Be in Love. We also spoke about the racial climate in this country and why he believes it's important to use his platform to spread awareness when it comes to issues plaguing the Black community. Take a look.
Oh man, I've always been a socially conscious artist. Let me just say that first and foremost. So I've always used the gift of decision to use my platform to enlighten, to I guess you could say lyrically protest, bring awareness to things that I don't agree with, not only in my community but just the planet. The signs of the times. Just kind of shedding light on that. So as well as doing features for different artists and things of that nature. So, um, you know, my new album, What a Time to Be in Love, is no different. From the opening track, What a Time to Be Alive, to records like Marvin Used to Say, to Lord Help Me, as well. And the other poetic moments that happened throughout the project. I wanted to create something with album number 8 that spoke to the sign of the times, that can be time capsule when we look back on this era, we look back on this time of soul music and R&B, that once again I hit the nail on the hammer. I mean, well, I hit the hammer on the nail
On the head.
on the hammer. Yeah, exactly. So it's intentional. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's very intentional with the gift and the wordplay and the message and the body of work that's always been very important to me.
Yeah, no, I love that. Now back to Marvin Used to Say. So in the song, you seem to encourage leaders like Alicia Garza, Angela Rye, David Banner, and quite a few others to keep pushing on during this time in which some may be experiencing fatigue from all that's going on. I want you to talk about why you believe this type of recognition and encouragement is necessary.
I mean, it wasn't only meant to be encouragement, but it was also to acknowledge them. You know what I mean? Like, we're in this. It's my way of saying thank you. You know, it's such a crucial time. In the middle of a pandemic where you go out and risk your life, to fight for our rights and fight for our lives and for the lives that have been, and to see justice for lives that have been lost. Breonna Taylor, for example, the amount of time that was spent, in that state alone. You know what I mean? Like, just, and they become kind of our, quote unquote, superheroes, to go out and rally to the cry and, tend to the families, tend to the community, you know, and to seek forth the change and the justice that we deserve and those families deserve. And those that have been murdered, deserve. So it's very important for me to mention them on the record. You know what I mean? It'd be no different than, Marvin speaking about, Malcolm X or, Martin Luther King at that time, in that time period. We've always been, music is the heartbeat of our people. It's the heartbeat of the community. So it's just another way to kind of tap in and communicate,
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense to me. I just thought it was amazing hearing those names because we know these people, right? We see them all the time. They're out here speaking on behalf of the Black community, trying to keep this movement going. And you say you did this to basically thank them. And I think that these people probably aren't thanked enough. It's almost like sometimes we can take them for granted because we always see them pushing on, but they don't have to do this. And like you said, this is happening in the middle of a pandemic where so many people are losing loved ones, but then we're seeing the Breonna Taylors, we're seeing the Ahmaud Arbery's and the George Floyds, and someone has to be out there. Someone has to be speaking on behalf of the voiceless. So I think this is really great that you acknowledge these people. I want to talk to Lord Help Me. That's another one that I really enjoyed. And so you said in the song, quote, "I'm not your in, I was born a king." Now, I thought that was powerful, and I'll tell you why. We're living in a time, or we've been living in a time where we as Black people are told that our worth doesn't matter, that we're like 3/4 of a human, right? And
Mhm.
so I want you to tell me why it's important for us as Black people to know our worth, even if other people refuse to see it, or when we're even reminded every time a Black person is killed and no one is held responsible, that Black lives don't matter.
Well, I mean, the simple reality is that iron sharpens iron. So that's my attempt to to sharpen the iron. To let my people know, our people know that, just as you are a reflection of me, I'm a reflection of you. You know, and and I'm a light being individual like you. And I too have been there and come from humble beginnings, and and so it's just about it's about continuously the celebration too. Like, I know we've been through so much. It's so much going on in real time, but we have to remind ourselves too that the world is still a beautiful place. A resilient um, we are a resilient, beautiful race of people, and and in fact, that's why we might receive so much hate, that we do. So it's just, again, just kind of like pushing through that. What a time to be in love. This new album is also, it's a celebration too. It's a celebration of Blackness. Um, Black love. Intimacy. Um, you know, the awakening. That can happen. The manifestations that can happen. Like, it's all of that. It embodies all of that.
And I love that. I love the fact that you found a way to intertwine the two, to talk about what's happening in the Black community, to talk about the fatigue, the people that are doing great things, but also to celebrate Black love, to celebrate intimacy. I think that's beautiful. And you just mentioned something about an awakening. Can you just tell me quickly, when was that moment that you realized singing was your calling?
Oh man, for me, I mean, young, probably 84, 85, right around that time.
And how old were you?
Kind of remember, I can't remember how old I was, but that 84, 85, Motown 25, maybe. And just remember, seeing Mike across the stage and just seeing, like, wow, just being kind of like drawn to that, and having that moment where it was like, I'm going to do that, and not realizing till later on, many, many moons later, like, what it would take, what it would embody. But I do remember that light bulb um, going off, like, around that time, 84, 85, and just like, um, yeah, it was absolutely 84.
Okay.
Mike, Marvin Gaye, the death of Marvin Gaye, like, just remember that just hitting me feeling some kind of way about that. My new single, Mr. Midnight, it just, um, when I made that record, it was like, or at the time, it was just like, I wanted to make something that reminded me of, like, when, uh, sexual healing would come on, me as a youth, sexual healing would come on, and I'll see how it would just make women, when it come through the speakers, it hit women, they move different. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? For that 3 or 4 minutes that the record played. So Mr. Midnight definitely, I feel like it has a mood to it, or mystique, that reminds me of that record, and in 84 as well, 84, 85,
Okay, I can see that. Now, what's one thing that you want your fans, that you want your listeners to take away from this album, What a Time to Be in Love?
Oh man, that the rich legacy of R&B and soul music is forever. Um, you know, our Blackness is forever. You know, a level of consciousness and intimacy can be intertwined when it comes to the art form of what I do and what we do as artists. You know, and that, it's, great music is here to stay. You know, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. What do you have coming up for us? Your fans, the people that love your music, like, what can they look forward to from you?
It's a lot more music. I'm wrapping up another project now with the producer that shall remain nameless for now from out of Detroit. So I'm wrapping up that. I just started working on a project with producer Ninth Wonder. Extremely excited about that as well. Got some ventures and things happening from overseas. Just a lot of music, a lot of music. You know, some online performances as well. You know, sorting out the business of that, and you know, continuously connecting with my fan base on social media. You know, via Instagram, as well as Facebook and a clubhouse as well. I do a real cool like clubhouse club. It's called Sage and Slow Jams. It's every Sunday night at 10 p.m. East Coast Standard Time. So if you're on the Clubhouse app, tap in with me, Raheem DeVaughn. Instagram as well, and Twitter, Raheem_DeVaughn.
Awesome. Before you leave, just leave us with a word of advice. We are in 2021. 2020 kicked a lot of our butts. It was
Yeah.
a wild year. This year's already starting off wild, as you can see. But give a word of advice to somebody who may be out here struggling financially, or they're trying to really get into purpose, get into their career. What advice could you give them to keep moving forward?
Vibrate higher. It won't be easy. You know, anything that you work for and that you really want, it won't be easy. You know, get into meditation, get into manifestation, prayer. You know, preparation. You know, prepares you for the things not only that you desire and that you will manifest your way, but it also will prepare you for the storm too. You know what I mean? And the things that um, may come your way. You know, that you might feel like are hindering you. You know, they can make you either stronger or weaker. So, yeah.
All right, good stuff, Raheem. Is there anything else you want to add before we conclude?
Oh man, again, brand new album. What a Time to Be in Love. Available on all digital platforms. Make sure you follow me on Spotify, Pandora, Apple Music, Tidal, wherever you like to get your outsourcing of streaming of music. When you stream, feel free to do so, as well as order a physical copy of the product. You know, I have merch as well. Click on the Instagram bio link to tap in. You know, get yourself some exclusive Raheem DeVaughn merch, and more music on the way. More music on the way.
Dope stuff. Dope. Thank you so much, Raheem DeVaughn. Greatly appreciate it. Keep moving forward.
Peace.
You're welcome. Well, that's it for Politics and Justice. I'm Ashlee Banks. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at Ashlee and Banks, and I'll catch you next time.